Hi, my name is Mauricio Real. I'm from Campus Eugenio Garzazada, and I'm here to talk about the Chernobyl accident from 1986. First of all, why hasn't it been possible to contain the nuclear energy and substances generated by the nuclear reactor explosion in Chernobyl in 1986? Well, it hasn't been able to fully contain all this nuclear energy and substances that the accident spread because the sarcophagus that was built to contain this energy is continually deteriorating and doesn't offer the best solution after the explosion. At the end of 2016, a new sarcophagus has been placed in the area. This sarcophagus is expected to last 100 years, but still, since it's not the best solution, it can be fully contain all the radiation that the explosion gave.
What is that makes nuclear energy to be so dangerous? In addition to the risks of operating factors, there are also significant risks associated with the spent of nuclear fuel and other radioactive waste. Even after 16 years of nuclear power, there is no safe, long-term storage of radioactive waste anywhere in the world. At present, radioactive waste around the world is stored in temporary facilities while discussions continue about long-term storage. The International Atomic Energy Agency estimates that the nuclear industry is even more dangerous every year. On the top of the reactors produce spent nuclear fuel, yet another high-level wastes.
Why is it said that a nuclear reaction generates an exponential growth of the atoms? Because what happens in a reaction is that the neutrons released in this reaction produces an additional fission in at least one further nucleus. So then this nucleus produces neutrons of and the same process repeats continuously. So this means that because of the continuous generation of nucleus, more atoms are continuously generating exponentially. An example is like, if each neutron releases 2 or more neutrons, then the number of fissions doubles each generation. In that case, in 10 generations there are 1024 fissions, and we continue this way forever.
When will all the nuclear energy and substances released by the explosion be dissolved? Can they be cleaned out completely? It is not known exactly when all the nuclear energy from this explosion will be dissolved, because first there were different types of nuclear elements who it was exploded, and each and every one of them have a different half-life, and also they all have different types of expanding in the environment. It is predicted that if they can clean completely the disaster, it will take around 20,000 years, and it is not sure it really they will able to truly clean it all.
Explain the basic exponential functions, and in which a is less than 1 and greater than 0. And our example is that y equals 1/2 to the exponential of x, and our graph is that the convectivity is out.
Now, we have our graph, and what we need to determine is the domain range horizontal asymptote. We already know the concavity goes up, our y-intercept, increasing intercept, decreasing intercept. So, with a visual graph, this is all really easy to find out. First, our domain, which represents every single value our x has in our graph. So, since our graph goes from negative infinite to positive infinite, we have all real numbers to our disposition. So, our answer will be all real numbers. Now, our range. Our graph goes, and for this we need to find out our horizontal asymptote first, which is 0. Why? Because our graph will never go below y value is 0. So, since y will never go below 0, our range will be from 0 to positive infinite. And here we have it, from 0 to positive infinite, with normal parentheses because, our line will never touch 0, and whenever we have an infinite, we need to write parentheses and not a bracket. Our concavity, as we stated, is up. We have an increasing intercept? No, because our value goes decreasing. Our graph keeps going down. So our answer is no. And do we have a decreasing intercept? Well, yes, that's what it is. And that's it. We have all stated all the values of an exponential function.
What is exponential growth? Basically, exponential growth is when the number size increases at a constantly growing rate. An exponential function with base b is defined as the following equation. Where a is never equal to 0, b is greater than 0 but never equal to 1, and x is any real number. There are certain types of characteristics between these functions. First, that the domain must always be a real number. Second, the range is all positive numbers, but not including 0. Also, when b is greater than 1, the graph increases. And when b is between 0 and 1, the graph will decrease and have an asymptote. What happens with the exponential decay is that this describes the process of reducing an amount by a consistent percentage rate over a specific period of time.
What are the implications of using nuclear energy? Do you consider nuclear energy to be clean energy? The implications can be radioactive waste. This issue continues unresolved. This waste is very dangerous and needs to be very carefully taken care of. No, it's not clean. The waste and the retirement plants of the nuclear energy are a life threat for future generations. This is not sustainable, so future generations will be to confront the wastes from these generations.
Are you aware that there is a nuclear energy plant in Mexico? We weren't aware that the nuclear energy plant was in our country, but we investigated and we found out that the nuclear energy plant is in the Laguna Verde nuclear power station located in Alto Lucero, Veracruz. We personally don't believe that this is necessarily safe since it can cause serious damage if it's not taken with the exact precautions. Although we do not think it's safe, we are actually in favor of having one. Laguna Verde has been considered a strategic facility in the national power system due to its highest power generation capacity, lowest operating cost and frequency and voltage regulation capacity.
Could the Chernobyl 1986 nuclear disaster have been prevented? It could have been prevented if the reactors were better designed and had been better operated with the right people. There is no way that radiation could have been stopped once it began its spreading. Since the explosion occurred in Eastern Europe, it did not affect Mexico, but since the world is constantly spinning, it affects the world in some way. Some consequences were air pollution, radiation killed green areas, the city became inhabitable, and agriculture became impossible in urban areas.
Environmental consequences of other nuclear disasters and use of nuclear weapons. Well, there are many consequences. First, the nuclear power plants take a lot of space, mostly on natural bodies of water and land. So, because of this, trees and plants need to be cut down so they can be built. Also, the heat produced in the power plants affects the aquatic species and terrestrial species. Another important effect is the release of sulfur dioxide in the air, which causes acid rain, hence increasing pollution in a high percentage. It also affects water, soil, and human health.
What do you think and feel about these consequences? We think these consequences are very bad in the environment, not only because of the damage that cannot be repaired, but because they last for generations. One solution for this problem will be to find a place where there has already been a nuclear power plant in order to avoid affecting negatively another place, or to find another alternative to this nuclear energy, because they have more negative things than good ones.
How did we feel about how we performed this activity? Well, personally, and I think I speak for the rest of the team too, I think it's a great opportunity to interact with other students from different campuses. And it's amazing the way we had to find out about new ways in which we could communicate with each other in order to have healthy communication and team interaction. And well, we were able to take our teamwork beyond being with each other face to face. It's a great opportunity to use technology in order to fulfill all our work, our homeworks. It's amazing. However, it would have been easier just to do it with people of our own class or even just our own campus. I'm not saying it wasn't a good idea. It was great. However, I also think it will be kind of complicated for teachers to grade this project in order to coordinate with the teacher from the other campus. But out of that, I think it's a great idea. It was a great opportunity to use our imagination to go further into communication with people our own age. Thank you very much.